Guys, keep a watch on. Ma'am, happy morning, ma'am.
Happy morning. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, ma'am, fine.
I hope you remember me.
Ma'am, I saw your Facebook post also. You were declared one of the best trainer all over India. I think I forgot to give you a big round of applause. Okay.
So this is supervisory batch, right?
Yes.
Huh.
No ISRO participants are here, no?
No, they went to third floor, ma'am. There are two sessions that is happening. That's the reason ISRO, it was an inauguration session for them. This is your first session or you're there from the last week? You're there from the last week. Okay. I think you are aware what was the topic given to us today? Entrepreneurship skills. Today I am here to throw some colors onto entrepreneurship skills. When we say who is an entrepreneur, our mind always projects that a person who owns his own business, his own enterprise, and he leads it, he is called as an entrepreneur. But there is another side of the definition also. Every leader can be called as an entrepreneur. Positively, he will be actually leading a group or leading a team or leading a country, or it could be the same, or leading a family, being an head of a boss. In all these cases, we require what is called as entrepreneurship skills. Whether I call it soft skills, whether I call it entrepreneurship skills, whether I call it as leadership skills, all mean the same. But when it comes to entrepreneur, the more idea is, can you start your own enterprise? Do you have that entrepreneurship skills so that people can assign you a complete project on your head and say, come on, you start executing this project. ISRO is a organization that definitely yes, but for every project that they initiate, they need to pick up a team and they need to pick up a person who is going to lead it from the front, and that person should have the highest entrepreneurship skills. Entrepreneurship skills not just means technical skills. Definitely technical skills are very much in need, but just with the technical skills you cannot become a leader. You need what is called as entrepreneurship skills. Today we will try to understand what is that is required for each and every one of us to say that I have that quality in me which can actually promote me to become an entrepreneurship leader. Insert 1, there was a different team lead. Insert 2, there was a different team lead. In the same manner, Chandrayana 1, there was a different team lead. Chandrayana 2, there was a different team lead. And Chandrayana 3, which became very, very successful, we added the different team lead. So when they had to select that leader who is going to lead from the front, they were looking for this interpersonal skills or entrepreneurship skills. I'm technically too sound, but I don't have that in me that I can work in a team. Can I become a leader? Definitely not. Nobody will pick me and say, come on, you lead this Indian cricket team. Come on, you lead this Indian, what is called as hockey team. Definitely it will not come. Yes, come on, you lead India as a prime minister. It would not come. I need something called as entrepreneurship skills. There were many chief ministers who were very, very successful. But this man who was a chief minister of Gujarat, he was picked up. And he was picked up because he had highest level of entrepreneurship skills and he had exhibited in the way he executed his entire chief ministership for 2 terms. A chaiwala could become that prime minister because he exhibited entrepreneurship skills. A tribal woman who could be a leader of tribals. She could have been a leader of a small forest. In that small forest there would be 2-3 small villages who lived along with wild animals. She could have become a leader of that and she could have remained there and she could have died there. But she exhibits so much of different entrepreneurship skills, so much of different leadership skills. It was selfless. And that lady today becomes the President of India. I'm talking about Draupadi Murmu. So you and me will have to ask, do we have these entrepreneurship skills? Maybe an opportunity will come tomorrow. An opportunity will come tomorrow. Are you confident about your entrepreneurship skills? And is your team or the seniors or your colleagues or your juniors, are they confident about your entrepreneurship skills? All this boils down to, when I get an opportunity, I can grab it. If one of this is lacking in you also, you cannot become an entrepreneur. If you know I make this entity as a team lead, there would be a team of people who wouldn't like to work under him because he doesn't have this kind of an entrepreneurship skills, then definitely that is going to be a big flop. So identifying your entrepreneurship skills and trying to work on it is today's objective. So we will start discussing what is this interpersonal skills or entrepreneurship skills. One of the very important interpersonal skills or entrepreneurship skills is, let us understand what is entrepreneurship skills. To be a leader, what is that is required? We will look at some of those necessity things that we should acquire to become an entrepreneur. It could be down the line. All of you are already leading a team. All of you already have juniors who look up to you as a mentor. But all of you are also having a goal that I should reach this particular goal, and it is my dream to get so many promotions and reach this topmost. And few of you have that goal, but you are not able to materialize that. In order to materialize that, you need certain skill sets which automatically will not come to you. You will have to learn those skill sets. On a daily basis, if you want from a chaiwala to become a prime minister, from the tribal woman to become that president, or a fisherman's son who could have died as a fisherman, he grows up to become the greatest scientist, Abdul Kalam. For that to happen, you should regularly check yourself, do I need to upgrade on any of my interpersonal skills or entrepreneurship skills or leadership skills? This question has to be asked day in, day out. I started my day today. I'm definitely going to end my day in the night. Before I could go to sleep, the only difference between other living beings and us is we are smartest. We will have to sit in silence and introspect from yesterday to today. What is that growth that I have brought to myself? Have I worked on any of my strengths and made it much more stronger? Have I worked on any of my weaknesses and changed it to my strength? SWOT analysis has to be done on a daily basis. And once in a week, you should take a critics, understanding whether I am going progressive or I am stagnant. If I become stagnant, I am living a mediocre life. A chaiwala will live as a chaiwala, die as a chaiwala. A tribal woman will live as a tribal woman and die as a tribal woman. And even the fisherman's son will live as a fisherman and die as a fisherman. Why? Their own brothers and sisters are still doing the same and their life is going to end. Why? They did not take this challenge of trying to come out of the comfort zone. All of you, this session is given to you just to put a mirror in front of you and say, you guys are capable of doing much bigger things in life. You are not made to do what you are. What you are is the gift that your past living has given to you. What you can be is a gift that you can give right now by using every right now moment and make your future much more brighter. Your yesterday is not equal to today. Your today will not be equal to tomorrow. Because of my yesterday and my past, today I am in this position. I am already well settled. I don't say no. But the moment you become self-satisfied with this, then your entrepreneur in you has died. You should have that zeal. I want to do enough. Here was a lady who came in an exchange program, a school teachers exchange program. And when she sees a lot of people are dying in the streets of Calcutta, only one thing gets into her head: I want to help everybody. To help everybody, I need to build so many hospitals which can give free treatment, and I shall do it come what may. And what an entrepreneurship skills he had. And today you can see the result. Mother Teresa's missionary of charity hospitals are there all over the world. And you visit any of the Christian hospitals, it is a pleasure to go to such hospitals. The way they treat you, the divinity at which they respect you, the nurses, how they actually cherish you. There are a lot of such Christian hospitals. Somehow, I don't know, I feel so good about it because this woman had an unconditional responsibility. Come what may, I will build enough hospitals for all the poor in all over the world. She did not keep her goal limit. An entrepreneurship, when he has a larger than life goal, that entrepreneur who was an ordinary man becomes an extraordinary personality. A chai wala becomes a prime minister. A tribal woman becomes the president. A fisherman's son definitely becomes what she becomes. And today we will have to ask, if I have not reached, am I walking the same path or am I living in a comfort zone? We always want to live in a comfort zone. In the position what you are, it is a comfort zone. To go out of it, take bigger responsibility, it is not a comfort zone. You are trying to go out of your comfort zone, and that daringness when you do every day, day in, day out, then you can reach the top entrepreneurship skills. You can reach a better entrepreneur. If you don't, you cannot reach that entrepreneur. So the challenge is on a daily basis how much I am trying to take myself and put in an uncomfort zone. You're leading a team. That's very easy to lead a team. An opportunity is there to go to a new project and lead a bigger team. Are you daring enough to take the challenge knowing, yes, failures will be there. All of us know failures will be there. There has to be failures in order to reach success. A person cannot touch success because behind that success he has to experience multiple failures. But all of us are allergic to this word failure. You don't want failure. You directly, when you jump into any particular activity, you want to hit that success button. It's not going to work. An entrepreneur is an entrepreneur who dares to say, it's okay even if I fail. And because he says it's okay even if I fail, he keeps on taking such challenges, and he knows my failure is not a failure. My failure is just a stepping stone to reach that success. A boy who was thrown out of the school because he was a mentally little challenged child. A boy who was not given admission even at the age of 7 to the first standard because his speech was not up to the mark. And a boy who was given admission, and after 15 days he was thrown out of the school, telling that he cannot learn in the school, he is a special student, he needs special attention. And today he has 1024 inventions under his cap. And he very beautifully told, I have failed many experiments, not once, not twice, not 100 times. I have failed sometimes 9,999 times. But I don't say my 9,999 attempts were failure. I say I designed a way in which a bulb, when it is actually manufactured, it may not have a long life. That is a genius of looking at how I can become an entrepreneur. You need the daringness. Irrespective of who takes up that lead, you need the daringness telling that I know there may be a chance of 2. I execute a decision, I will get exactly what I expected. Beautiful. People will praise you, people will applaud you. But I may get reverse of what I have expected. Instead of success, I may get a failure also. But as a leader, if I am ready for that, that is one of the best entrepreneurship skills that you can exhibit. All of us, we want whatever we do, we need success. We are allergic to this word failure. Let me explain with a beautiful story. I think AC can be switched on. Anybody? Okay. Now, here is a simple story. Just to understand, most of us, we say our attempts will be limited. We don't want to make multiple attempts. Let me share this beautiful story. This is a story of a would-be man who came to Bangalore to attend an interview. When this would-be man comes to Bangalore to attend an interview, he says, until and unless the interview is through, I will not eat my breakfast. Only after the interview is done, I am going to have my breakfast. So he comes to Infosys, he attends the interview, and he also knows that he has been selected. With an happy feeling, he just says, now is the time for me to have a breakfast. He is looking for a particular hotel, Udupi hotel, where he could eat one of his favorite. His favorite is always vada. He comes to a small road, a small lane, and there he sees there is a huge crowd. When he goes very close to that place, he finds out that it is a Udupi hotel, and there is a long queue where people are standing and they are having dosas, they are having vadas, they are having idlis. He goes up to the counter. On the counter, it's the owner who is sitting. He asks the owner, sir, do you have very good vadas? He says, we have one of the tastiest vadas. And does your vada satisfy anybody's hunger? It can satisfy anybody's hunger. It can satisfy your hunger also. So you please sit, have it. He goes and he sits there, and the owner says 1 plate vada kodi. The Udupi man, he confirms, sir, what is the cost of 1 plate vada? He says 1 plate vada is going to cost you 40 rupees. Sir, do you charge for sambar and chutney? He says, no, sir, we don't charge for sambar and chutney, you can have. Sir, you have promised your vada is tastiest. The owner says, yes sir, our vada is the tastiest in Bangalore. See, so many people, fine. And you are also promising that your vada can satisfy my hunger. Sir, it can satisfy anybody's hunger. You simply sit and have, sir. Sir, if these two conditions are not met, then I will not eat. You start, sir. You will always love it. And 1 plate vada is ordered. He breaks the vada into 4 pieces, dips into chutney, dips into sambar. He has it. After he eats, he finds out it is very tasty. He looks at the owner and says, very, very tasty. But he says, stomach not full. The owner is happy. After he has completed 1 vada, his stomach is still not full. So he says, inon plate vada kodi. He eats that complete plate of vada and he looks at the owner and says, very tasty, but stomach not full. First plate is over, second plate is over, third plate is over. This technique is called a Satvada technique. Why? You should remember it. When sometimes you experience failure, or whenever your friends experience failure, you will have to remind them this story so that they know it is okay to fail. What is not okay? To give up. It is okay to fail. Chandrayaan-1 was a failure. It was okay to fail. Let us look at what else can be done so that we rework on it and try to make Chandrayaan-2 successful. Yes, that also did not happen, but it was no option of giving up. And they again retried, and Chandrayaan-3 was a great success. And the success of Chandrayaan-3 was actually given to the failure of Chandrayaan-1 and 2, because they saw 80, 85, 90% success, and that success was the stepping stone to see that Chandrayaan-3 was successful. This all intelligent people like us know. So here what happens, he completes 4th vada, 5th vada, 6th vada. Now the owner is so confident, nan maga innond ode tinbidli. I am going to give him free of cost everything, because he has that 6th sense, and he says he cannot eat even 1 piece. I am confident, because whatever he has eaten, it has come till here. So he takes the 7th vada, he breaks it up into 4 pieces. He takes 1 piece, he dips in chutney, he dips in sambar, and he has it. After he tastes, he feels yes, and it is already here. For the first time, he looks at the owner and says, tasty and stomach also full. The moment he says that, he leaves the 3/4 of the vada, only 1/4 is used. He comes to the counter and he gives 40 rupees and he is leaving. As soon as he is leaving, the owner catches him. Sir, you have taken 7 vadas. 7 ones are 7, 7 twos are 14, 7 threes are 21, 7 fours are. That is what you will have to pay me, please. Then he says, sir, you will have to speak the truth. What did I say? I told you, can your vada satisfy my hunger? First vada did not satisfy my hunger. Second vada also did not satisfy my hunger. But the 7th vada definitely satisfied the hunger. And I have not eaten the 7th vada full. I have eaten only 1/4. I should only pay you for 10 rupees. So we will stop the story there. All of us are actually looking at our life and our situations and every opportunity in the same manner, and you are expecting that the first idli should satisfy your hunger. No. Everything will have its end. So until and unless that end is not reached, not giving up should be your attitude. Yes, multiple times everybody has failed. Tendulkar is famous for highest number of records. Definitely yes. But do you know the other side of the story? Tendulkar is also having most negative records. Why? He went there and he stood challenging, knowing that he can fail, but he bounced back. He can fail and he bounced back. Tendulkar has the highest record of being out for 0. Tendulkar has the highest record of being out for single digit. Tendulkar has the highest record of being out for 2 digit. Tendulkar has the highest record being out between 100 to 150, between 150 to 200, because he was the only man who went there and daringly he stood, knowing that He can be failure. This is a failure. Tomorrow I will come back, I will bounce back, I will do everything once again. And that attitude can make you a leader. And that attitude can give you what is called as good success. So success and failures is an event. As long as we understand in those terminologies, our life will be every day a growing thing. Otherwise, a chaiwala will die as a chaiwala, a Draupadi Murmu tribal woman will live in the tribal woman, do some good to the tribal woman and die, and a fisherman's son will die there, and a Mother Teresa will never become a saint, having her hospitals all across the globe, which is highly even impossible to imagine. She is capable of doing so good things. Why? She had that entrepreneurship skills in her. She did not have that in her mind that she had to give up. As a teacher, one day what happens? What we say, unconditional responsibility should be taken if you want to become an entrepreneur. What I mean by that is, once Mother Teresa decides, come what may, if I start teaching and if I start trying to work building hospitals, it's not going to work. Somebody told, and she also realized, yes. So she goes to the principal and she gives a resignation letter. The principal looks at the resignation letter and he says, yes, why do you want to give this resignation letter? I want to start a chain of hospitals. Look at her confidence of saying, I want to start chain of hospitals so that every poor is helped by giving him a free medication. That is when he says, he's surprised. Do you have even enough money to buy a third pair of cloth? Mother Teresa says, no, I don't. And principal says, I knew you will not have, because everything you have, you give it out. Now, with nothing in your hand, do you think you can start chain of hospitals? Forget about starting a clinic. Do you know how much cost it is going to cost? Then he says, I will hold on to this resignation letter. You try. If at all you cannot, you can always come back. There will be a second option. Then he says, no, I don't want to give a second option. If I am giving a second option, I am ready to fall back. That would happen. I don't want to fall back. I want to take an unconditional responsibility, come what may. And she says with a confidence, sir, with this penny, because at that time we used to call it as penny, with this penny and God on my side, I know I can do miracles. I can not only start a chain of hospitals in Calcutta, I can start it in India and across the globe. And that really worked. Always remember, you need not do anything. Practically speaking, all great leaders, they did not do everything. Everything was done by them, by Him. The Almighty, the God, the energy, everything is done by Him. But holding on to that dream and taking few baby steps is only your responsibility. Chandrayana 3 happened, but it was not that everything was executed by them. A team is formed, a team is doing their work, keeping the team together, motivating the team and consistently pumping in right kind of energy. That will be an entrepreneur's job. He cannot go and do every work. He has to pump. He has to bring those interpersonal skills of his into action and see to it everybody is kept together. Everybody is pumped up. Few things will become successful. Praise them. Few people will become failure. Try to persuade them and tell them failure is just a stepping stone. There is one more time, one more chance. Please make an attempt. So like that, your action will have to be to just push. And the rest, He will take care. You and me always know there is nothing that we can do without God's will. We even cannot wink our eye. But everything happens because of His will. But when we know that everything is happening because of His will, sometimes we fear. And that fear is because for the first time you forgot He is not there in you. All entrepreneurs, they have a great faith in their belief system. They have a great faith in that energy. Thomas Alva Edison, he has a great faith in that energy. And that energy will take you. In God's book, denial will not be there. Delay will be there. But you should be ready to hold on to the delay. But holding on to the delay, what you do, you start giving up. The moment you give up, your goal is given up and you settle to normal. And that is given up and you settle to normal. And that is given up and you say, as it is without promotion, what will happen? I'm already in a good position. Let me continue in the same position. Let me play a safe game. No, life is not for you to play a safe game. God could have created you as any such organism, any such microorganism, any such animal or a plant or a worm or an aqua thing. But today, if He has selected you and if He has given you this human life, you are made to be a winner. You are a born winner. Now you will have to exhibit what kind of life you are going to live, so that God should feel proud that I gave birth to a human and this life was not wasted at all. The greatest gift God gives all of us is, all of us are born equal. But the greatest return gift what we can give onto Him is, we will have to not die equal. We will have to do something and God should feel proud. I did not waste one Manushya Janma. I did not waste one human life. That kind of a feeling you will have to give it to God. For that what? You will have to keep moving. That's all. He is there to carry on. Let me share a beautiful story. All of us know this. God is a co-author of our destination. The moment we forget that He is not there in us, that is when we start feeling that energy is not there, that strength is not there. Because for the first time we forget He is not there in you. Here is a beautiful story just to talk about He is always there with us. A good man, a godly man who lived his life always helping the poor, always helping anybody who is in need, always preaching about good, always preaching about God, he dies. When he dies, when the body and the soul get separated, the soul was traveling and definitely it was heaven what he had to reach. While he was traveling, he just wanted to look into how his entire journey was. The soul could imagine the entire path. There was a beginning, there was a birth, there was a death. Between this birth and death, he was looking at his entire life. When he was analyzing his entire life, he found at certain point of time, there were two pair of footsteps. And at certain point of time, there was only one pair of footsteps. When he was deeply analyzing, he was totally confused. During happy times, there were two pairs of footsteps. And during sorrow times, there was only one. He was totally confused. He definitely knew the other pair of footsteps is God. Why is that? When I was very happy, when I don't need Him also, He was there with me. When I was very sorrowful, He wasn't there with me. All of us do the same thing. Sankata bandaga, we say Venkata Ramana. It should not be like that. Irrespective of whether the Sankata comes or not. When bad things happen, then we say, oh God, where are you? No justice is done. When happy things are given, you don't remember Him. And as soon as the door opens, God says, my loving son, I have an answer for you. Your prediction was right. The two pair of footsteps is you and me. During happier times, my loving son, you also did not hold my hand. I held your hand because I had to accompany you. Because that's my responsibility. Krishna is there. Krishna will always accompany even Duryodhana also, even Arjuna also. Irrespective of whoever you are there, I'll accompany you. So I was holding your hand during those happy journey because you and none of you humans, you remember me when there is happy times. But when there was difficult time, I loved you so much, you lived a very fruitful life. How could have I given you up? The footsteps what you see is one, but that is not yours. That is where the misunderstanding is. That is mine. During sorrowful times, you did not have enough strength to even walk on your own. I carried you all along. Ask yourself. There were such difficult times when the problem was coming and coming and coming. You thought, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen, deadline, what will happen, what will happen. And the problem came along with the problem. Solution was also there. You did not dare to run away when you stood the problem, and along with the problem, solution also has been given by God. You held on to that problem. As it came, you saw the solution and the solution was given and the problem simply went off. In your life, you have achieved so many bigger things, and do you think everything was a cakewalk? No. The 10th standard exam was not a cakewalk. The 12th exam was not a cakewalk. Your degree exam was not a cakewalk. Your first interview was not a cakewalk. First job was not a cakewalk. Everything had its own difficulties. But difficulties came, but you dared to stand there. When you dared to stand there, automatically solution also came with the problem. Because you dared, you were ready to see a solution. If you did not dare, if you would give up, he also wouldn't have helped you. God is always there to help you, but if we give up, he cannot. He is just a co-author of our destiny. So in God's book, there is nothing called as denial. Delay will be there. Delay is to see how much you are wanting this. When you are seriously wanting it, there is no denial at all. Some struggle will have to be there. Some resistance will be put just to check how much you are wanting it. And when your wanting is more in energy, nothing will happen. Miracles will happen, and things that need to be delivered will be delivered. You have to do nothing. You will have to just hold on to the dream and hold on to the thought process. Gandhiji decided on that day. He started a biggest enterprise. Most of us don't know. When you read his book, Father of Nation is not something which we called as Indians to him. Father of Nation was something the entire world called him, because he was responsible for that movement. And for the first time, with ahimsa, something could be possible was made in action and proved by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He was a selfish man. He went to South Africa not because he wanted to get us freedom. He wanted to be away from this. He was working. He was living a life for himself. One day when he had to go to the court, he accidentally gets into a compartment of a moving train. At that time, slaves and masters, it was a big thing happening. People never treated blacks and browns as equals. They always treated us as slaves. In that moment, he did not know that he is not supposed to go to the compartment of white. No, he very well knew he is not supposed to get into the compartment which was meant for whites, and there was another compartment which was meant for browns and blacks, for slaves, for masters and slaves. He accidentally gets into a moving train and he did not know that it was a compartment of whites. He wanted to jump away, but the train was moving too fast. He couldn't. Helplessly, he goes into one corner and he sits there, not disturbing anybody. Just like one street dog, out of fear it goes so that nobody should notice and sits in one corner. But these whites, they look at him, they treat him like a street dog which has fallen into the shit and got into your house. They chase, they hit him, and they throw him out of the train. That is the moment a thought process is realized. And he decides, I will not only chase these Britishers out of South Africa, I will chase them out of India. So, an entrepreneurship skill, sometimes life hits you so hard and he knew you will be developed. But after he decided that was going to happen, was it easy? No. He was very young and dynamic, and at that young mind comes to India and he starts saying, we will try and fight these Britishers with ahimsa. 1 year passes away, 2 years passes away. People ridiculed him. Bapu, ab kya baat kar rahe ho? Oh Mohandas Karamchand, kya baat kar rahe ho? Britishers, you will chase them with ahimsa? Impossible. The most cruel things are there. And you are going to work with them with ahimsa? It's not going to work. They ridiculed. Years passed, decades passed. And a day came when the entire world followed him. And today when we say ahimsa, only one word comes in our mind. It's Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, the Mahatma Gandhi. So he had that entrepreneurship skills. Entrepreneurship skills is holding on to something irrespective of whatever happens till my last breath. There is a beautiful saying. I know how many of you have seen this Om Shanti Om. It's a Shah Rukh Khan movie. More about the Om. It is about manifestation of your thought process or manifestation of your goal. He had only single-minded objective that कुछ भी हो जाए, अगर कयामत से कयामत हो जाए, लेकिन I just want this. If I can hold on to that, even for some reason, if your last breath is reached and you are held on to it till your last breath, you need not do anything, because it was your whisper onto the outside world. The outside world, which is like a magical genie, he has nothing to do. He has to make your wish come true, because that is what universe is supposed to do. The universe is like a genie. You need not rub. Genie is there everywhere. We call them angels, we call them devils, we call them devatas, we call them rakshasas. It is different terminology. The moment I say, I want to see India becoming freedom, getting a freedom. Yes, it shall be fulfilled. Your wish is my command, master. It shall be fulfilled. Very simple. I want to see this United States of America have no differences between black and white. These were the wordings told by Martin Luther King Jr. If you can actually Google Martin Luther King Jr., he was a very good politician. Though he was a black, the whites respected him for the kind of life, selflessness life that he lived, and he wanted to do good to the society. That's all. With that objective, he was considered as one of the best black politicians. Every time he had an opportunity to come and speak on a public forum, he always looked at the White House and he used to say, a day would come. A day would come when this White House will witness no color discrimination. No discrimination as masters and slaves. That day would come. The entire crowd used to say, oh. Why? Because that was unimaginable. He looked at the White House and he told, a day would come when a black would actually be a president, and this White House would, the name White House was that blacks were not even allowed to work there. That is the kind of black and white differences that was there. But he kept on telling it, he kept on telling it. And the last breath was taken by him. The genie had no other choice. Till his last breath, he always told. The genie came up to him and he told, what do you want? Every time the genie is there here, he is asking me, your wish is my command, master, what do you want? I wish this White House will witness there is no color discrimination. And 15 years down the line, there was no looking back. Obama becomes the first black president and he was again re-elected. People may think it is a fluke that he came, but he was again re-elected. He would have been again re-elected, but they only have 2 such terms they can continuously take. And there was a miracle that happened. The black house which they thought where where a black person cannot occupy, that became a super success. Do you know there used to be movies where if they would have actually projected the president as black, that movie, even if it was with a good story and with good action, that used to be a flop because none of the whites wanted to actually be positive towards it, telling that a black man could become a president. And that is what has happened today. And an entrepreneur is the one who can hold on to that dream, come what may, till his last breath. And that entrepreneurship skills you will have to exhibit. So, looking at what are the components of interpersonal skill or entrepreneurship skills, how do I improve this interpersonal skills? Just to understand whether it is interpersonal or entrepreneurship skills, mostly when I say interpersonal skills, these are those essential skill sets that is involved in dealing with, relating to other people largely on a one-to-one basis. But more than that, when I say entrepreneurship skills, it is a way that you are going to deal with your own inner self. Entrepreneur means, first, are you confident? I cannot lead the team based on my team's confidence. No, I definitely need my confidence and my team's confidence. I need to build up the team confidence in my youngsters. An entrepreneur is the one who has this communicative knowledge where he can build his own confidence and he can build the confidence of a team and he can take the team to the winning attire. And that skill set is called as entrepreneurship skill sets. If I as a team leader, if I am not confident that I am going to win this match, then I cannot become a leader at all. My leadership skills becomes a big zero. All of you should know this beautiful element because I am talking about interpersonal skills. Now, when I am confident, the kind of lines what I use, it will consistently keep on passing positive energy. When that positive energy goes into the entire team, miracles are going to happen. But as a captain, if I am not confident, I will not be able to motivate my team members with that same confidence and the entire team's performance will drastically fall. So I can give you n number of examples. Let us take up this beautiful example, our first 2020 World Cup. All of you know, India had never experienced 2020 World Cup before the first 2020 World Cup. We have never played 2020 over matches. We were comfortable with 50 over matches. We were very comfortable with test matches. When the first time the world decided that they are going to have a World Cup of 2020, it was a challenging task. It was a challenging task for the India that they should send a team, but not sending a team will send a wrong message. They had to send a team. They had to send a team which would at least do justice. They did not expect semi-finals. At least they should do justice. With that expectation, what they thought, let us have a combination of 50% youngsters and 50% seniors. So they wanted to club both of them and then send them as a team. When the management committee wanted to select a few senior team members and a captain from the senior team members, few junior team members and also a captain from there, it was a challenging task. But still they call all the good informed players and they put them in one room, seniors in one room, juniors in the other room. The management goes to the seniors and they say, we will have a combination of both juniors and seniors. We just want to know how many of you would like to play this first 2020 World Cup. But before that, we need to decide on the captainship. So who would like to captain this first 2020 World Cup? From the seniors, no hand raises. An entrepreneur is the one who has his leadership skills to the core. Even before the question is completed, he should raise his hand. If that is not going to happen, that means their confidence is down. Always remember, confidence does not mean I don't have fear. Confidence means with fear I am ready to face that. That is called as confidence. I don't know which bullet is going to hit me, on which bullet my name is written, and when it hits me, it is going to be a do or die, and at that moment I may not be able to see my loved ones ever after. Knowing this, every army man, every navy, every air force, they challenge themselves and we say they are courageous and they are confident because they go knowing that there is a fear in every minute that they spend there. That is called as daringness, and that we should have. None of the senior team players wanted to be a captain, and most of them told, we don't want to be a part of a team. It's a new game. Let it be an youngsters game. We don't want to be the captain. We don't want to be a part of the team. Many of them told, I don't want to use names. And finally, 3 of them, seniors, they told, we will play in the team, but we cannot become a captain. With this, they had to come to the junior team members. They had to select a captain also. They had to select all the players from there. Only 2-3 are coming from the seniors. All of them were good informed players, but none of them had vast experience. They were just freshers there. At that moment, helplessly, the management had to select a captain, but still, just to look at how courageous or how confident they are, they just put a statement telling, we have already selected the captain, we have already selected the players from the seniors, we just need 2-3 juniors or maybe 4-5 of them, we will make it as a team and then we will send. In case if you want to select a captain from here, who will be ready? The moment the question was fired, before even the question could get completed, one man was there who raised his hand and he said, Apan captain banega. And that man was Dhoni. Dhoni, आपका एक्सपीरियंस तो कम है, लेकिन जीत के तो आऊंगा, पूरा दम लगा के जीत के तो आऊंगा. That confidence is required. Now there was no other option. None of them agreed. Sometimes life gives you an opportunity when everybody else does not dare to. And when that opportunity is given, you should grab it with both the hands. Uri surgical strike. Every neighboring country will come, घुस के ही मारते हैं. And this man told, अगर वो लोग घुस के मार सकते हैं तो हम भी घुस के मारेंगे. जो इंटरनेशनल न्यूज जो बोलेगा वो अपन देख लेगा, हम भी घुस के मारेंगे. जाओ घुस के मारो, जो होगा देखा जाएगा. That is called as daringness. Knowing that there is a fear, what if when we go and hit them, if somebody gets captured, there is a fear. And it would always be like that. When there is confidence that you will have to show, it doesn't mean that you are not with fear. With fear, when you can express that confidence, that is actually called as courageous. And this Dhoni lifts up his hand and says, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to play, putting all my energy with all my youngsters, with all my friends. That was his courage. And the kind of confidence what he expressed and the kind of confidence what the seniors expressed, it was such a vast difference, and they saw an entrepreneurship skills in him. He told, I will form the team, I will take the team, I will do that miracle. And he was capable of doing it. But hurdles weren't there, was there. We lost the first match. Next day in the newspaper, everywhere it was written what kind of selection is being made. Who they have made a captain who doesn't have any experience also. What kind of a management is this? Were they drunk when they decided on the players? Were they overly drunk when they decided on the captainship? Why they did not consider the senior players? Because senior players will not go in the news and say, they gave us an offer we did not take. They cannot tell that to the world. And the first match was lost. Somebody called the Dhoni, one of the selector. I'm not asking you what will be your performance. He told, without you asking, I'm telling you, apan jeet ke ye aayenge. Chinta mat karo. These were the words, and he kept the phone. And there was no looking back. After that, we did not even miss one match. And we were the first 2020 World Cup winner. And the moment an opportunity was given, for you also, in your workplace, an opportunity like that will come. If you can dare enough to say, I'm ready to take up this opportunity, knowing there can be a failure. When there is a failure, people will throw critics on you. And when there is success, people will applaud you. That's the nature of life. That's the nature of how people look at success and failures. When you are successful, people applaud you. When you are failure, people will critique you. It is common. That's how life is going to be. You will have to know, it's okay, I failed today. My yesterday is not equal to today. My today will not be equal to tomorrow. I will bounce back. And then the Dhoni's team bounced back and there was no looking back. After a few months, they thought, I think he deserves to be a one-day international captain also. Slowly the captainship of one-day international was handed over to Dhoni and he kept on giving results. Failures were there. And after that, there was no looking back. He was also given a one-day test match captainship, and there was no looking back. He started giving results, and today he is considered as one of the greatest captain the Indian team has ever seen, who has given maximum number of wins in 2020 in so-called one-day internationals and also in test match. So life always throws you an opportunity when you can take up with all these understanding. Come what may, I am ready to execute. If God has given you an opportunity, He knows that you can execute. If Krishna, who is that neutral person, if he has taken to that particular position and if he has given you that opportunity, because he believes you can. And why will you worry when Krishna himself is with you? But he cannot without you and you cannot without him. Both of you as combination, miracles are possible. You just go and be there. Rest he will take care. You take a few baby steps. Be confident about your team. Be confident about learning. Be confident about how failures can be transformed into success. These skill sets you will have to work, that's all. So to understand these interpersonal skills, you mainly need social skills, how you communicate with people skills. As a Dhoni, need to put this confidence into every team member, because one team member is not going to participate fully, or the strength of the team is equal to the weakest link. If I'm not going to work on that weakest link, daring that if it is too weak, remove him and put a new person there. Be daring enough. Last over of the final, who the ball has to be given, that daringness has to come. Shall I give it to a person who has been bowling and that man who is a batsman, he knows how to face him, or shall I surprise him to give it to a new person whose ball he has never faced, and he takes the challenge, let me surprise him. And the ball was given to somebody else. Few runs were required and we got the wickets and India became a World Cup winner. So like that, you should have that thinking skills, analytical skills, problem solving skills, and that decision has to be taken then and there itself. Quick decision making skills. All this is a part of your entrepreneurship skills. At certain point of time when this Chandrayaan 3, when it was moving and moving and moving, if the arbitrary changes happened, they knew they had to wait for so many number of days in order to come back to the same place and relaunch. So they were given so much of practice and fuel how it could manage for such a long time, and all the care was taken and all were already practiced in a pseudo environment. So Chandrayaan 3, there was no option for failure at all. The same thing happened with the cricket team. The same thing will happen in anything that we do. So when we say entrepreneurship skills, you need that social skills, how to be empathetic with people, people skills, how to encourage them, how to motivate them, how to make them feel they can win, how to persuade them, put that positive energy in them, and how to understand their emotional and work, and how to work on their life skills. So all this equally plays a very, very important role. So as an entrepreneur, you should be an active listener. What are some of the qualities of an entrepreneurship skills? Entrepreneurship skills should not become a dictatorship skills, because with your knowledge the project cannot be actually achieved. You and the entire team knowledge, you can always actually hit the target. So active listening is also very, very important, because when we are as a team, there could be every one of them who are actually smart in their own skill sets. So identifying their smartness and trying to give them an opportunity to exhibit their smartness and believing in them is also very important for an entrepreneur. Most of the time the team players will come and say, "Sir, did you believe I can execute this?" "I strongly believe you can over-execute this." Not execute, over-execute this. But the man is about to go on to deliver something. "Hey, last time you did a problem. I don't want any problem this time." What are you reminding him? You're reminding him about his failure. So a good entrepreneur is the one who has that good listening skills. He should read between the lines and understand. Sometimes when a player is not confident, he doesn't say, "I'm not confident." He says, "Do you think I can execute?" That itself says that he is not confident. Can you be a good listener to motivate him? What is that he requires when he says, "Sir, do you think I can execute it? Do you think I can actually complete it?" What is he expecting? His expectation is, my boss will say, "You have done it in the past and you have done it yesterday and you will do it today also. Go ahead and continue with it." That is actually called as active listening. Sometimes they do not say what they want to say. You will have to read between their lines. You will have to read between their emotions. So a very, very good listening skills is important. Sometimes when they have to give a negative critics, they will be actually a little surprised. Means they don't want to exhibit it in front of everybody. "Sir, I think there is a flaw in this. If this energy, whatever the liquid oxygen that we are going to put it in this vehicle, it may not sustain that kind of a moment. I think something else has to be done." If you are a good listener, you will make them say, "Come again, I think you have a point there." Make him say it again and again. Make him feel he is very important. And tell him, "You go home, do research and come. Let us understand what you told. There is a point. If that is so, we will make some changes." So that way, being a very active listener is very, very important. So sometimes, I don't know, most of the leaders, they listen. They listen for hours together and then they try to give a solution. That is important. And teamwork. Everything is a teamwork. As an entrepreneur, you should know how to get the work done in a team. For that, it is very important that you have team building skills in you. Appreciate every good things that happens in front of everybody. If something negative has happened, that has to be done in closed walls. Appreciation in open public. So these basic things. Trying to work as a team. Do not put all the pressure on one person. And entrepreneurship skills is the one where he understands the team, understands the strength of the team. There is a wicket keeper. His proficiency is wicket keeper. Make him do keeping. No, you do the bowling, and the person who has never done keeping, you push him into keeping. That is not called as actually assigning work as teamwork. So teamwork is identifying the skill sets of each and every one and then giving them the workload. And if somebody is weak in anything, you should not mind to remove him and replace him with another player. That is called as entrepreneurship skills. No emotions will work here. Objective is the project has to be successful. You are a part of a team. We will still say you are a part of this team when we executed this project, but right now you are injured. That can be negative. So you please be on the shelf and another person is going to play. So that team coordination, a team assigning, team working, and trying to build confidence in the team with each other is very, very important. One very good example could be, if all of you would have watched Check Day, the coach had a target that he knew that every one of them were confident about themselves. They were not confident about each other. So what used to happen in the second and the third, fourth matches, the ball, when it was with one of the person who is a chaser, he never believed that the other person can hit a goal, so he never passed the ball to another person. He dared to take it himself, and sometimes he hit the goal and sometimes he missed the goal. So that way, teamwork means you should be capable of organizing all this. And responsibility. You should know how to take responsibility, you should know how to assign responsibility, and you should know how to actually check the responsibilities whether it is executed satisfactory or not. That checking is very, very important. An entrepreneur cannot say, I think that this project can be submitted next month by 10th. Okay, fine. So we'll meet on 9. No. We will meet at 3 intervals. Exactly after 10 days we will meet. We will see the progress. Exactly after 20 days we'll meet, we'll see the progress. On the 25th day we will meet, we will see the progress, and on 30th day it is going to be delivery. So you are not only giving them responsibility, you are monitoring their responsibility at a timely interval. You cannot go to your higher ups and say, sir, everybody told they would be doing it on 30th, and when I come on 30th, none of the work is completed. No, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, you should lead from front. You should be present in that place. You cannot go to a new place and be there with somebody else and then expect the job will automatically happen. He is not called as a leader. Chandrayaan 3, the entire family was at home. The workers were as a family inside for 24 hours, for 48 hours, for 36 hours. So you should give them the work and responsibility and keep checking whether it is in progress. After 15 days, did you check what was the progress? At least 30% of the progress should have happened. That means you are a good entrepreneur. You know how to check and monitor the whether it is happening as per the plan, and then continue. So then after 30 days, yes, I have checked. After 40 days, I have checked. This should be your attitude. Next, dependability. As an entrepreneur, can people depend on you? Yes. At the same time, you should take the team members who can be dependable. If somebody says, sir, you can't depend on him, he can never be a part of our team. His control is with his wife. If you want him in the team, then you will have to talk to his wife. Then that team member will not work for you. A team member should be ready to take up unconditional responsibility. So that way, that dependability in you taking all the time and giving only for this, and the dependability from your team members who can give out all the time only for this, then what happens? Yes, whatever your enterprise that you are thinking of can be executable. That becomes leadership skills is important. You will have to lead by example. You can't say everybody be there by 9 and you come by 10:30. It's not going to work. When you say everybody should not take any leave, it also means that you also should not take any leave. Your presence also should be on Sunday. So people follow what they see more than what they hear. So you consistently keep on telling them about time, you consistently keep on telling them of no holidays, but you take holidays and you come after time. That is not going to work. A good entrepreneur or a leader is the one who automatically follows that leadership skills by leading by example. And you should be a motivator. Simply saying words will not help. In disguise, an entrepreneur should motivate people and make them believe that they have taken the decision. And it should always be they have decided. It should not be you have decided. And when the credit comes, that means when the team is successful, when the project is successful, give the credit also to them. That's the reason what we say good communication is, guys, there is a 20 cars that we will have to deliver next week. In a week, we can only maximum assemble 15 cars. I really don't know whether we can do it. So I'm throwing the challenge against you because you are the smart ones. You are the most hardworking people. If anything has to happen, it is only because of you. So do you think we can in a week complete this 20 cars? One of them will say, yes sir, possible. How do you think it's possible? Sir, we are logging in at 9. I think we can log in at 7. 2 hours extra, I think we can always finish off the 5 cars. I did not say, one of them told. So it has to be they taking the challenge. Sometimes I throw the challenge and I should see he's confidently picking up the challenge. When he takes the ball, when the ball is given, this is the last over, I trust you, you can do miracles. The Dhoni ji, हम miracle करके ही दिखाएंगे, give me the ball. That confidence he should also have. If he doesn't have, then having him as a team member, you did a big mistake. So selection of the team members is also an entrepreneur's main responsibility, selecting the right person for the right thing. Motivation, and there should be flexibility in your case also. You cannot stick on to 7 only. What if some of them says, we cannot come at 7, we have our own problem? Then the third person will say, those who cannot come at 7, instead of logging at 6, we will log off at 10. They only came with some solution. Yes, log off at 10. We are getting 3 hours there, 2 hours here. Beautiful. And one of them will say, we cannot because we come from far off places. Maybe we will, 1 or 2 days, we will sleep here only. That shouldn't be a problem. And one of them will say, Sunday, we are always enjoyed our holidays. We will give up one Sunday for the sake of the company. So that way, all these happens, you should be flexible. You cannot stick to one rule. You can be a little flexible and see to it. Ultimately, the objective was to see that the goal is achieved. That is not. And patience is required. After Chandrayaan 1, you fire all the scientists there. It's going to work. No. You will have to be patient. Failures tend to happen. And ahead of a failure, there is a success. Because that nth vada, we don't know how much is that nth vada. For Chandrayaan to happen, third was that nth vada. Third attempt was required. For the Thomas Alva Edison, 9,999 times was required. So that patience should be there, and you should be empathetical towards the team members. A person who is blind, you cannot expect him, look at me and write my drawing. No, be empathetic. Right now he has met with an accident, or right now somebody near and dear ones has passed away at home. Be empathetic. You cannot throw a challenge and make him come on that particular day. See what can be done. Can I empathetically make few adjustments here and there as a leader, as an entrepreneur, so that that person is also given importance and the project also is not being shaken up. So being empathetic is very, very important. And conflict resolution. When all like-minded senior most scientists are going to participate in an execution like Chandrayaan 1, Chandrayaan 2, Chandrayaan 3, nobody is simple. Everybody is his own scientific technocrat. So how will you handle? There will be conflicts. A person will say this fuel engine cannot be used. There will be conflicts. You should be good enough in handling that conflicts. So a good entrepreneur is the one who knows how to handle this conflicts management. So that is a skill set that you will have to say. And mediation techniques. You should have that mediation skills, because any job is going to be divided into multiple departments. You are the leader. You should know how each and every department should talk to each other. So that way, mediation skills should be required, so that the senior team members of all the departments should be brought regularly, and they should be spoken regularly to know the progress, to know the flaws, to know do's and don'ts. It's very, very important. That is also one of the entrepreneurship skills which you will have to learn. Problem solving. Problem identification is equally important. Problem solving is also equally important. Sometimes it is ego that is actually not allowing them to execute the project. You should be smart enough to understand whether it is the ego or whether it is the technical stuff. So that smartness you will have to show, problem solving. And any kind of a problem, you should get there daringly enough. And no problem you need to solve. You give your active listening, they themselves will solve. You bring the two people, you sit there, you tell Pa, what is your problem? Okay, you finished. You tell Pa, what is your problem? I have a solution, but I think he can give a better solution. What is your solution to him? What is your solution to him? They gave a solution to each other. Yeah, I had to just listen. make them feel they are important. You will have to sometime work on their ego. Their ego needs to be pampered. Sometimes it's required. So if you can do that, it works. Then group processes. This entire thing is called as group processes. Regularly taking updates from the group, regularly keeping the progress report of the group, regularly knowing the completion date of the group, regularly checking some of the mistakes that would have happened in the past. So an entrepreneur SWOT analysis of the entire project, he should be very, very smart enough. He cannot put everything under his head. He will have his own team of assistants who will have to keep on bombarding him if there is anything negative. He is called as an entrepreneur. Because we did a SWOT analysis, we took at what were our strengths in Chandrayaan-2, what were our weaknesses in Chandrayaan-2, and how can we develop this strength into more strength, and how can we change these weaknesses into strength, and that is what has to consistently happen. Or the weaknesses worked on, that progress report has to be checked consistently, because the project deadline is also kept. So all these consistently working is called as an entrepreneurship skills. And definitely you should be a negotiator. To make them come to us early, you should be a good negotiator. You should bring that, they'll say, I want to work with the audience. If you can't, just mere words if I'm going to throw onto you, you will not be a good follower. You need to motivate. You need to motivate with strong words. You need to motivate with your strong presence. You need to motivate with your strong walkthrough. And when you do all that, it can have an effect. Otherwise, it will not have an effect. So you should be a good negotiator. And persuasion skills. You should be ready to persuade, make them believe. A general, when he has to take his battalion for a war, he's taking them to a do and die situation. He cannot say, come, we will go. It doesn't work. आप मुझे blood दे दो, मैं आपको आज़ादी दे देता हूँ. It doesn't work. It has to come. आप मुझे खून दो, मैं आपको आज़ादी देता हूँ. So it has to come like that. It has to come deep inside. So that persuasion and motivation will have to come. And you definitely needs to have that emotional intelligence. How to work on humans' emotion. A good leader can touch those human emotions and make them believe. Our loved ones are safe there because we are ready to give our life. Our loved ones are safe there because of the execution of this Chandrayaan-3, which can make our India prosper in a manner which was unimaginable. For all those who gave up their life to give freedom to us, we need to tell them, the India that you gave us, we have not kept it as it is. We have proved in many places we are the best. And Chandrayaan-3 is also one such proof. So each and every team member who are here, look at all those loved ones who gave up their life for the sake of that freedom India. In that free India, if we could execute this Chandrayaan-3, it will be a cap. It will be a cap on India. We should always have that cap on India if we can take our flag and put it on the other side of the Mars, put it on the other side of the moon. That's the greatest gift we can give to those who gave up their life to give us freedom. So these kind of motivational words have to be used. Just seemingly plain words when you put, it cannot motivate. An entrepreneur should have that in him. Yes, proper meditative techniques, proper practice of communication skills, proper public speaking, all this when you regularly do, it is works. So yes, you should be good at verbal and non-verbal communication also. When I talk, it should feel like a air-raising experience. So that kind of a communication, it only comes by practice. More and more you get onto the dais, start speaking to your colleagues, start speaking to your juniors, keep telling them whatever best you can. That way, when you consistently do, you can become that motivational speaker, you can become a motivator, and that skill set is very, very important. And it should be done genuinely, keeping the other person's interest in mind. It cannot be acting. When you do acting, people will know. When I come here and if I vomit whatever I have learnt, it stinks. If I simply start expressing whatever is in my mind through my heart, then you will definitely get impressed. But if you try to impress, people will not get impressed. So that you will have to learn. A good interpersonal or entrepreneurship skills is you should be an amazing verbal communicator. That's the reason we say learn as many languages as possible. Learn not only to speak in a sitting posture, learn to speak on a public speaking forum. Dare to say that I will stand and I can explain the same thing to as many people as possible. That daringness of verbal communication has to be there. And definitely non-verbal also. Because non-verbal also makes a lot of difference. If my appearance is not quite presentable, I have not come with normal formal clothes, it always sounds negative. It has to be expressed. And as verbal and non-verbal, your actions also do matter. All of us should be by 7 and you come here by 6:30, it makes wonders. All of you should be at 7 and you come at 10 o'clock, it's not going to work. When you walk your talk, whatever you speak, if you are walking that, it can have an impression on them, otherwise no. So most of the entrepreneur who occupies that leadership skills, he is the one who has followed the most discipline in his life. So that has to be exhibited. Yes, good negotiation, persuasion skills, critical thinking. At the last over, who the ball should be given, it's a critical thinking. The orbit has been missed. How can you bring it back to the same orbit? It's a critical thinking. Decision has to be taken. The bomb is there, red wire, green wire, blue wire. Decision has to be taken. There is 50-50 chances only, but still decision have to be taken. Critical thinking. Problem solving, we have already seen. Decision making. Assertiveness. Come what may, showing positivity is called as assertiveness. The first over was hit for a 6, first ball. In the World Cup, if you see the final 2020. He goes up to him and he says, it's okay. Be assertive. If the same ball was not hit with the same energy, it would have been a little this side, it would have been an out. So that assertiveness of being confident is very, very important for an entrepreneur. The belief that you carry at the beginning of the journey defines the journey. So every time you will have to strongly start with that positive belief. That is called as assertiveness, and definitely teamwork. So all this can help us to work in a team, to express ourselves. Most of this automatically happens. When we say communication, can you maintain an eye contact? Like when I'm talking to people, I'll have to look into their eyes. I'll have to genuinely say I'm interested in talking to you. And then when I talk, it always sets an impression. You will have to maintain that eye contact. If I'm talking to somebody, I cannot be looking at somebody else. That doesn't have an effective communication. Active listening, giving time to everybody, non-verbal skills also. Your actions, your eye contact, all that non-verbal movements, that's also equally important. And if you want to improvise on this, leverage the recording technology. Nowadays we have a recording technology. I am recording, I will just go through it. If I see I had made a few flaws here and there, I'll keep working on it. Verbal skills, negotiation skills, and all this only comes by practice. Whether you like or dislike, you should think that there is a team of your team who is sitting there. In everybody's absence, you come early. When nobody is there, you stand, keep the recording on, and you will have to practice motivational speaking. Otherwise it doesn't come like that. And you should give them a goal, why they should do that, and you should give them an emotional goal, why they should do that. When that is given, miracles are going to happen. So that is equally important. So when I say entrepreneurship skills, you should be creative also. Creativity is one of the skill sets that all of you should have. In anything that you do, can I do it in a more creative manner? Even communication, even executing the project, even building up a team. Hey, look at his creativeness. How did he select the team members? He was very creative. He called for 3 rounds of group discussion. He asked us to answer why it is important that they should be a part of this project. He was good in choosing. Because if somebody says, I want to be part of this project because my mother told change the project, go for higher project, he becomes useless for you. And also my wife told go for abroad, so this project can take me to abroad, so I want to go abroad. Then it is not coming from deep inside. There's another guy says, it was my dream to actually go out of my comfort zone and work on a zone which is much, much more higher, and today I'm getting that opportunity. I think my life has fulfilled my dream and I was waiting for this to happen. I wanted to experience new working environment and work so good that I should be an asset to the company. And I think for the first time, the company has given me a larger than my comfort zone opportunity. I will prove I fit into this perfectly. So I want to work on this project. That determination, when it comes, select him, he can do miracles. When you select another person, it does not happen. So you should be creative, critical thinking, communication skills, problem solving, decision making, how to handle stress. Stress is common. When I'm trying to do something which I have not done earlier, stress will be there. And when I'm trying to do something which was a failure earlier, stress will be there, fear will be there. Chandrayana 1 was not stressful because it was a first attempt. But after Chandrayana 1 failed, when they were executing Chandrayana 2, there were two kinds of fear. We failed in Chandrayana 1, now we are doing something else which we have already failed. Your confidence should be much, much more higher. At that time, automatically there is an higher stress because of the fear. Fear creates stress. Is fear good or bad? Fear is good. It is an indication that you are trying to do something which went wrong earlier. So let me take all the precautions so that the same wrong will not happen. Fear is good. Overconfident and becoming fearless is always dangerous. Sometimes we say, is fearlessness a gift? I say fearlessness is sometimes stupidity. You don't come with precautions. You can't do avalaki buvalaki and execute a project. You should take all the precautionary measures. So that is very, very important. So stress handling is very, very important. And emotions, self-awareness. Am I confident about handling this project? Do I know enough about the project? Then pick up the project. If you don't know enough, then give it to somebody else. You can support him as a team. It works. When as a senior most, the present president of United States of America, he knew that. He is not. He became self-aware. My age is not supporting me to actually continue and lead this country in such a big manner. So he transferred to Kamala Harris, and he told, I think the next presidential candidate will be Kamala Harris. So being self-aware of your skill sets and handing over the battle to somebody else who is much, much more stronger or fit is equally important. It is like dad has put this mara and I will hold on to the mara for a lifetime. 80 ho gaya, 85 ho gaya, 90 ho gaya, and you're still going to rule us, you're still going to be the chairman, you're still going to be the president. No, it's not going to work. Give it to the youngsters, they will do miracles. That is what one of the entrepreneurship skills that you will have to learn. So, what time is your tea break?
He will come here.
Huh?
He will come here.
It is at 11? 10:30. Okay. Now, any questions? And tomorrow also we have a session for you.
Yes.
Tomorrow, what is the topic?
Self-esteem construction.